Once upon a time, in a land far away, there were no dogs as we know them today. Instead, animals roamed the earth in many forms: beasts, birds, and creatures of all kinds. Among them, the wild wolves were the most majestic and noble. They lived in packs, and their strength, speed, and cunning made them the rulers of the forests. But wolves were not yet the loyal companions they are now. They were fierce, independent, and kept to themselves. The story of how dogs got their shape begins with a young wolf named Lupo. Lupo was curious, not just about the world around him, but also about the humans who lived in the nearby villages. These humans were different from the creatures of the wild. They had strange tools, built homes out of stone, and lived in peace. Sometimes, Lupo would watch them from the shadows of the trees, wondering what it would be like to be part of their world. One winter, when the cold winds howled and food was scarce, a great storm swept across the land. The forest was blanketed in snow, and even the bravest wolves struggled to find enough food. Lupo, weaker than the others, was separated from his pack during the storm and wandered deep into the human village. Exhausted and hungry, he collapsed at the edge of a warm fire where a kind human woman found him. The woman, named Alara, was known for her compassion. She had always dreamed of a connection between humans and the wild animals of the forest. When she saw Lupo, she saw not a dangerous beast, but a creature in need. She took him in, fed him, and tended to his wounds. Lupo, though wary at first, felt the warmth of her care and began to trust her. Days turned into weeks, and Lupo found himself drawn closer to Alara and the humans. He would follow her as she worked in the fields, and in return, she would give him scraps of food. He was no longer just a wild wolf, he was becoming part of their world. The villagers, seeing Lupo's gentle nature, began to accept him too. Soon, other wolves began to follow Lupo's example, coming closer to the villages and forming bonds with the humans. Over time, the bond between the wolves and humans grew stronger. The humans provided food, shelter, and safety, while the wolves offered their keen senses and hunting skills. The wolves who lived near the villages began to adapt to their new way of life. They grew smaller, their bodies softened, and their once fearsome appearance changed. Their fur grew thicker, and their eyes became brighter with trust. They no longer needed to be fierce hunters to survive. The wolves who stayed with humans began to develop traits that made them more suited to this new life. Alara, noticing the change in Lupo and the others, understood that these wolves were no longer the same as their wild kin. They had adapted, just as the humans had. She began to see that these creatures were not just animals, they were companions. In gratitude for the changes they had made, Alara called them dogs, a name that reflected both their gentle nature and their loyalty. As generations passed, the dogs continued to evolve, becoming more diverse in shape, size, and personality. Some were long and sleek, others were stout and strong. Some had pointed ears, others had floppy ones. But no matter their shape, they all carried within them the spirit of that first bond between Lupo and Alara, a bond of trust, love, and companionship. And so, the dogs got their shape, not just through time and evolution, but through the love and care of humans who saw beyond the wildness and into the hearts of the creatures that once roamed the forests. They became loyal friends, protectors, and partners to humans, and in doing so, their shapes continued to transform, adapting to the needs of their families. And that, dear reader, is how dogs got their shape, through a friendship that changed the course of history and turned fierce wolves into the loyal companions we know and love today. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos.